Welcome to SciShow. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of generative AI and its groundbreaking applications in predicting and generating protein structures. Proteins are these amazing, complex molecules that are essential for life. They're like tiny machines that carry out all sorts of important tasks in our bodies, from digesting food to fighting off infections. But figuring out the three-dimensional structure of a protein is really hard. It's like trying to solve a super complicated three-dimensional puzzle. But instead of a picture on a box, you have a long string of amino acids. That's where AI comes in. So how does AI actually predict protein structures? Well, it all starts with data. Lots and lots of data. Scientists have been studying proteins for decades, and over time they've figured out the structures of thousands of them. This data is like a goldmine for training AI algorithms. Two of the biggest breakthroughs in this field came from DeepMind's AlphaFold and a similar program called RoseTTAFold. These AI systems were trained on massive databases of known protein structures and learned to predict the three-dimensional shape of a protein from its amino acid sequence. Think of it like this. If you feed AlphaFold the amino acid sequence of a protein, it's kind of like giving it a list of ingredients. AlphaFold then uses its knowledge of how different amino acids interact with each other to predict the final folded shape of the protein. And these predictions are crazy accurate. AlphaFold and RoseTTAFold have been able to predict the structures of proteins with incredible precision, even for proteins that have stumped scientists for years. This is a huge deal, because knowing the structure of a protein can tell us a lot about how it functions and what role it might play in a disease. Predicting protein structures is amazing, but what if we could go a step further and actually design brand new proteins from scratch? That's where generative AI comes in. Instead of just predicting the structure of an existing protein, generative AI can create entirely new protein structures that have never been seen before. There are a bunch of different generative AI models being used for this, like variational autoencoders, VAEs, generative adversarial networks, GANs, and diffusion models. These models all work in slightly different ways, but the basic idea is that they learn the underlying rules of protein structure and use that knowledge to generate new, plausible structures. For example, GANs work by pitting two neural networks against each other. One network, called the generator, tries to create realistic-looking protein structures, while the other network, the discriminator, tries to tell the difference between real and fake protein structures. As the generator and discriminator battle it out, the generator gets better and better at creating realistic protein structures. It's like an AI art competition, but instead of paintings, they're making proteins. Some other cool examples of generative models in this space are ProtGPT and ESMFold. These models are based on a type of AI architecture called transformers, which are really good at understanding and generating sequential data like text or, in this case, amino acid sequences. So we've got AI predicting protein structures and AI designing brand new ones. Where does this technology actually get used? One of the most promising applications of AI-powered protein structure prediction and design is in drug discovery. Think about how drugs work. They often target specific proteins in the body, either blocking their activity or enhancing it. Knowing the precise three-dimensional structure of a target protein is like having a detailed map of the enemy's fortress. It allows scientists to design drugs that can precisely interact with that protein and disrupt its function. AI is helping to speed up this process in a few key ways. First, it can be used to identify promising drug targets. By analyzing massive datasets of protein structures and biological information, AI algorithms can pinpoint proteins that are likely to play a role in a particular disease. Once a target protein has been identified, AI can then be used to design drugs that specifically bind to that protein. This is where generative AI models really shine. They can generate thousands, even millions, of potential drug candidates, and then predict how well each candidate will bind to the target protein. This process, called virtual screening, allows researchers to weed out unpromising candidates early on and focus their efforts on the most promising leads. It's like having an AI assistant that can do the initial screening of drug candidates, saving scientists huge amounts of time and resources. But wait, there's more. AI-powered protein structure prediction is also revolutionizing the way we design vaccines and antibodies. Now, proteins are rarely loners. They're constantly interacting with each other and with other molecules in the cell, forming complex networks and pathways. Understanding these interactions is crucial for understanding how cells function and for developing new drugs and therapies. But predicting these interactions is even more complex than predicting the structure of a single protein. That's where multimodal and hybrid AI models come in. These models combine information from different sources such as protein sequences, structures, and even biological pathways to predict how proteins will interact with each other and with other molecules. Think of it like this. If you want to understand how a car engine works, you wouldn't just look at the individual parts in isolation. You'd want to see how they fit together and how they interact with each other. Multimodal AI models do the same thing for proteins. These models are still in the early stages of development, but they hold immense potential for drug discovery and other applications. For example, they could be used to identify new drug targets that work by disrupting protein-protein interactions. Or they could be used to develop new diagnostic tools that can detect disease-related changes in protein interactions. Virtual screening, which we touched on earlier, gets even more powerful when we're talking about protein interactions. Instead of just screening for drugs that bind to a single protein, we can now screen for drugs that disrupt specific protein-protein interactions. Okay, so we've got AI predicting protein structures, designing new ones, helping us discover drugs, and even mapping out complex protein interactions. What's next? Well, how about AI that can actually engineer better proteins? That's right, researchers are now using generative AI models to suggest beneficial mutations that can improve the stability, activity, or other properties of a protein. This is a bit like having an AI genetic engineer. The AI model can analyze the structure of a protein and identify specific amino acids that, if changed, could lead to a desired outcome. For example, let's say we want to engineer an enzyme that's more stable at high temperatures. An AI model could analyze the structure of the enzyme and suggest mutations that would make it more resistant to heat. This technology has the potential to revolutionize protein engineering, allowing us to create proteins with enhanced properties for a wide range of applications. Imagine enzymes that are more efficient at breaking down pollutants, or biomaterials that are stronger and more durable. And it's not just about engineering existing proteins. AI could also be used to design entirely new proteins with novel functions. This could lead to the development of new materials, sensors, and even therapeutics. So there you have it, a glimpse into the exciting world of generative AI and its impact on protein structure prediction and design. From accelerating drug discovery to enabling the creation of entirely new proteins, AI is poised to revolutionize the way we understand and interact with the building blocks of life. It's a field that's moving at an incredible pace, and I can't wait to see what breakthroughs the future holds. Who knows what amazing new proteins and life-changing therapies AI will help us create. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating insights into the world of science and technology. See you next time on SciShow.